All right, good morning, everybody. Today we are going to go over the design process. Maybe. There we go. All right, so what is design? The design process typically uh, is a creative planning process that leads to useful products and systems. There's not one single perfect design. Um, and then the requirements of a design are made up of criteria and constraints. So the design process, it's a purposeful method of planning practical solutions to problems. The design process is never final. We are always trying to improve on whatever it is you're designing. There are always multiple solutions to a problem. And so there's different ways to find that. The design process is influenced by requirements called criteria and constraints. Here is one version of the design process. There are several different design processes that are used throughout all of the engineering fields. It's kind of a trial and error to see which one works best for you. Here are two other design processes. You can see they are kind of similar, but the one on the left has over twice as many steps as the one on the right. Once again, a couple of different design processes. A very simple one on the right, a little bit more in depth on the left. So which one do you use? Well, we are going to use this design process. This is the one that Project Lead the Way gives us, and it's a simple 6-step design process. So step one is define the problem. Defining the problem is kind of like conducting detective work. You must examine the evidence and form some conclusions. So some examples are, how can we make vehicles communicate with other vehicles to prevent accidents? Another example is, can we make an athletic shoe that decreases the amount of sprained ankles when worn on hardwood gym floors? Step two, generate concepts. The process of creating, developing, and communicating ideas which are abstract, concrete, or visual. So these concepts could be, if we go back to the shoe, make the athletic shoe out of plastic. The shoe needs to grip the floor, so the bottom should be made of rubber. The ankle support should be stiff. And don't forget air vents so that your foot doesn't sweat too much. The third step is develop a solution. Create a detailed design solution and justify that solution path. You can create technical drawings that will definitely help explain your idea. So the criteria of this is, how will the solution actually work? What materials should I use? What should the product look like so that people will buy it? Construct and test a prototype. This is pretty self-explanatory. Once we have our solution, we need to try to create a testable prototype. And things that we're going to test for would be performance, usability, durability. And then during that testing, we want to collect data and analyze the data. The fifth step is to evaluate your solution. So after you've got the prototype constructed and tested, you're going to evaluate its effectiveness. You're going to reflect back on that design, and then you're going to look to see, are there any improvements that I can make? Then the last step is, if after you evaluate everything, you've solved the problem, this looks like it's going to be a quality solution, we're going to present that solution. You want to share your design ideas with others to prove that the design is worthy of manufacturing. Ways that you can do this are with posters, charts, PowerPoints, discussions, drawings, and then prototype reports. So the 6 steps of the design process are very important to remember, because we're going to use those throughout the year in this class. And if you take any of my advanced classes, you'll use them in those also. So remember, define the problem, generate concepts, develop a solution, construct and test a prototype, evaluate the solution, and then present the solution. When you want to create something, or if you want to solve a problem that you've been assigned, you want to take steps towards finding results. Those results may not be clear yet, but that's what the design process is for, is to help shape and guide your work and thoughts to improve the outcome.